let's get started with this monster for today. We are on Gradamoth or something. Let me use the map command. Garmonda, that's it. That looks familiar to me. Why does it look familiar? It looks like the... Yeah, the river design reminds me of another map, but it's not that map. Because it would have like a lake down here. It's a World War II map, and then there's not a village right there. Okay, so this is one... It's definitely a small map for sure. Just has a similar layout to that other one that I know. Interestingly enough, it also seems to have an airstrip. We got multiple capture zones as well all around. Multiple waves of reinforcements for OPFOR. Blue 4, I believe, is defending this zone. But anyway... This looks like our main AO right here. Excellent. All right, let me calibrate my mic here. Yeah, no, I'm very quiet today, according to OBS. Great. Let me adjust that, and we'll adjust our levels here as well. Yeah, all right, that'll work. Let's see. Yeah, okay, cool. Well, no, let me do that one slightly more down. And then we should be good on that side. All right, let me go ahead and get the prediction up for you guys, and we'll get started today. Blue 4 is Cherno. So, who will win this OFCRA match? And then OPFOR is going to be Russia for this one. I'm going to set it to 20 minutes. Let me give you guys a breakdown of how this scenario is going to go. Blue 4 is going to be spawning in here. We've already got a group here defending this forward zone. OPFOR already have a group defending their forward zone, and then we have a yellow zone and a purple zone. OPFOR going to be reinforcing in 3 different groups. Blue 4, okay, there's a third group going to be reinforcing from the north. How the points are going to work is at the 15-minute mark, the red and blue zones are going to trigger a point gain for Blue 4 and Red 4 respectively. So if Red 4 has a majority in this position, they'll gain a point. And then if Blue 4 has a majority in that position, they'll gain a point at the 15-minute mark and the 35-minute mark. At the 50-minute mark, a single point will trigger for whoever has a majority in the yellow zone. And then at the end of the game, whoever has a player majority in the purple zone will gain 2 points. So that means 2 points for the red and blue zones fired at different times, and then the yellow zone's worth 1 point, and the purple zone is worth the final 2. So basically the AO is going to cover all of that. And then I'll remove my markers so I don't see them in the future. Beyond that, I mean, Blue 4 is going to be reinforcing from the ground, mainly with a lot of ground vehicles. OPFOR, I believe, is going to be almost purely air assault. They might have some ground forces already at their airstrip here, but to reinforce in 15 minutes, I don't think we're really going to see a lot of action in this one until probably mid-game. Maybe we'll see Blue 4 try to do a push with this group onto this zone, or they're going to peel off, take a left, and then try to hold the yellow zone instead. However, that's going to allow OPFOR more time to reinforce Garmonda. I think it's in Blue 4's best interest here to reinforce with this group coming up, grab that, maybe either go up for the yellow zone or leave a skeletal group here and then just go right for the purple zone at the end. That way they can also harass OPFOR on this position, maybe if they're lucky, push them off of it by the 35 mark, prevent them from capturing that point, and then just hunker down in Garmonda with a point advantage. OPFOR, meanwhile, could see something similar with the southern group going in to try to harass the Blue 4 zone. However, that's going to be a bit tougher if Blue 4 have reinforcing vehicles. They could also send a group around to get to the yellow zone, or they could just reinforce, but the bulk of OPFOR's points are going to come from here. In a game where you can only get, I think, 5 points total, definitely want to focus on, you know, the 2 areas that are going to net you most of those points. For OPFOR, it's going to be 4 points right here, so I think OPFOR is going to actually play a little more defensively. Blue 4 probably going to play a little more aggressively to try to push OPFOR at least away from the purple zone. But we'll see. OFCRA, they're usually very, very slow. They're quick to dismount in an earlier position and then move forces in. So we'll have to see how things go. Asking for a player count. Well, we've got an anomaly with the player count. We're at 136 players. So that's not the issue. But the issue at hand... Here, my mic is peaking slightly. Let me tune that up real quick. There. All right. The issue is if we were to hit the player count, it seems OFCRA touched the cloning machine a little bit. NASA is my liaison to the event, and he somehow has made 11 copies of himself. The weird part, though, is that all of the NASA copies are here, but the original NASA's on the opposite team. You see my issue? Like, I'm trying to understand what has happened in this scenario here, but it seems we have a plethora of NASA's together, and we don't really... I can't explain it. Science just finds a way, I guess, but, you know, it's a weird... I don't know. He's botting. Maybe we'll see the Blue 4 NASA get all the Op 4 NASA killed, but, you know, there's like 2 squads worth of dudes here. Or 2 fire teams specifically. Anyway, Rubitron, thanks for the 21-3 sub, buddy. Hope you keep enjoying the operations. Hope you get a nice kick out of the scenario. Stillwater pay for pain was good. You guys are actually going to get a lot of pay for pain coming up. Monday is going to go pay for pain starting next week. That's the Halo Anti-Stasi stuff. If you want to see that menu, DM me. Because there's some really funny stuff in there that is going to insta-kill people. And, yeah, I'm allowing it. I guess I'm just greedy. Congo operations. We might do some pay for pains for the Congo stuff. I'm gonna give it some time. But I'm thinking by the beginning of next month, I might offer a pay for pain mission with the Congo stuff here and there. To either do it on Sunday evenings or Saturdays, like whenever I can find the time, but I'm going to not do it on a standard Wednesday slot. It's gonna be like a bonus thing. Let me think what else. Pay for Pain is coming back to Thursday Pog as well, probably by the end of the month as well. So, I mean, what I'm trying to say is you guys are going to have a lot of opportunities to Pay for Pain. It's going to be Mondays, it's going to be Thursdays, it's going to be potentially a Saturday or Sunday, and then, you know, Stillwater might run another Pay for Pain. So, I don't know when their next one's going to be, probably not for a few months, but that's going to be another, you know, late Saturday night. One more push for wedding funds. Yeah, I'm going to be honest. It's kind of honeymoon related. Not going to lie. Bloodwing, I think, would appreciate a fun honeymoon. So, you know, raise a few thousand for that. Might as well. But yeah, I think what terrifies me about the Monday Pay for Pain is you can buy scarabs. And it's not just buying a scarab. It literally causes a light cruiser to jump into orbit, drop an obnoxiously large reskinned Taru pod into the ground, and then the Taru pod disappears, and out comes a Halo 3 scarab. I'm not joking. It is a fully functioning, crawling around Halo 3 scarab. With the main scarab gun, the big-ass gun on its ass, and then a bunch of attached shade turrets. You have to literally blow its leg out to cripple it so it lowers itself, and then you jump on the back, and then you can blow it up. It's terrifying. It's absolutely terrifying. I think the one thing I didn't put in the menu yet is some vehicle drops, but I should probably... I think I'm going to add those for Covenant. That's just the one thing I didn't factor in yet, but I should. But anyway, we'll get there when we get there. But there's literally an option at the bottom of the menu where it's just Liru, just murder them. And what it does is it causes a Covenant cruiser to spawn over the players and drop about 2 platoons worth of Covenant right on top of the players via drop pods. And then it just jumps out, and if the players survive that, then I don't know what to do. Maybe include some options to give the player base... No. Anyway, you have to understand, my player base asked for this in a poll. They thought it was too easy because we already took the bottom side of the map. So I'm like, okay, we can make it harder. Yeah, we'll make it harder. Sure, why not? I will admit, there is a Mac cannon you can use. And then there's also a Covenant glassing beam you can use, and I literally have in the rules, you're not allowed to use those against airfields or Petros. That is the sound of 140-ish people. Let me check the TeamSpeak real quick. 135 people getting moved into the TFAR channel at the same time. You gotta love it. All right, let's go ahead and actually cover the event here, guys. Let's go ahead and cover OPFOR first, because that has all of our clones of NASA. So OPFOR's group appears to be, as I said, we knew it was Russian forces. They got red armbands. We've got a mix of, those are either AK-74s or AK-12s. Hard to say, but we got magnified optics on some of them. We got some SVDs in play as well. We got some static backpacks. I see a mortar in play. I think the static backpacks are actually AGS-30s, which are grenade launchers. So these guys are going to have some pretty hefty equipment to work with here. Beyond that, what did I see? I thought I saw some PKMs or something. I see some GL systems. I don't see any machine guns. I guess that makes sense. Usually it would be like an RPK for air assault. No, wait, no, there's a PKP in play. Never mind. All right, well, that is the first group already there. Looking at some of the other groups here that are reinforcing. We have some Gaz groups on the ground. They got some RPG-26s in play. Ooh, lag spike galore right there. What the fuck? Okay. So apparently, scrolling into the various copies of NASA caused my game to freak out because it, I guess, is a reality-bending SCP that decided to give me 5 frames. I don't have any comments on that, but these guys are suppressed. No helmets. Pretty hefty body armor on, so yeah, no, those are definitely Spetsnaz. All right. Looking over at the main force down here. They keep connecting. There's another NASA. We have an air assault group over here. Looks like it's Mi-17s. No guns on them, so this is just going to be purely for transport. Once again, my game had a slight little stutter there. That's kind of weird. But yeah, I know we've got more AK-12s. Looks like standard air assault forces here. So more of what we saw back there. I don't see any statics or other backpacks. They've also got some UAZs that they might tow in. And then we have a big amount of guys all the way back here. Okay, we got an Mi-24 in play. Once again, my game has decided to lag out. We have some rocket pods on the 24. Okay, shit. So we got a gun pod, a rocket pod, which is fully loaded. And we've got that 12.7 chin strap gun for these guys. We have some suppressed SVDs, suppressed AK-12s as well. I'm sure that's a Spetsnaz era group, yeah, based off of the weaponry there. Otherwise, let's go ahead and look at Blue 4. So the 4th Brigade, the guys that are already in the zone, they've got green armbands. So there should be absolutely no confusion of PID. Is that a Remington and you put a red dot on it? Okay, yeah, alright. I guess the RIS-21s weren't enough. I'm confused, but sure, let's go for it. Yeah, I think he traded his scope for somebody else's then. That's... Is it as long as it works, yeah, right? Iowa Reaper, thanks for 2 gift subs. If you got a sub from Iowa, make sure you thank him. Otherwise, hope you all keep enjoying the operations. Hope you get a nice kick out of this scenario. These guys have RIS-21, which is like an AK, but it's been re-chambered to fire 5.56. We have some RPKs in play as well, but I'm pretty sure that is an RPK-74. And we've got some AT-4s in play as well for some light shock weaponry, or AT. Main group on the south that's reinforcing. Looks like, god damn, there are some lag spikes when I roll in here. We've got a GMG on a 113. We have a 50 cal on a 113. We have a second 50 cal, a third 50 cal. So multiple M113s, 3 with 50 cals, 1 with a GMG. That's Mark 19. And then we've got... Oh, gosh. It is some sort of 5.56 platformed rifle. The visual of this is obviously some form of like Mark 18 or SPAR 16. Maybe an HK-416, but I don't recognize the model immediately, but it's definitely some sort of, standard 30-round rifle there. We have some, what is that, a Mini-Me? That is a mini-me. Okay, Market 48. More AT4s. They have to have some GL capability somewhere. I'm trying to see where that is, but I think these are all fill-in units, so I'm trying to find if there's any leadership that might have some grenade launching capabilities, or if they're just going to completely leave that to the Mark 19. Which, you know, for all I know, they might. But otherwise, that's our reinforcing group from the south, and then the northern group, which I think is a special operative regiment. They have an MRAP with a 50 cal. I'd be willing to bet anyone $5 that they're going to flip that somehow. We got Scar H's from the looks of things. We have... Is that a Mark 11 with a super long barrel? No, that's... I don't know the name for that gun, but that is some sort of 308 that's suppressed with a massive, massive barrel. And then we've got more of the same, except these guys are either... I think those are suppressors. Those could be flash hiders, though. And I'm only seeing AT4s. They also have some open-wheeled... Not open-wheeled, open-topped Humvees that can, I think, carry 8 people. Usually it's 4 here and then might be 4 in the back. Otherwise, it's 4 and 4. But otherwise, that is it. Oddball is going to be commanding Blue 4. Depso commanding Op 4. Let's go ahead and look at the AOs here. Yellow Zone, 1 point cash in at the 50-minute mark. This is a giant base up on this side. Not bad. We got a Shilka in play. I'm not sure if that's going to be usable or not, but that'd be pretty cool if it was. We do have a BTR-80 Alpha tucked away in the back as well. Interesting. Looking at the final purple zone, which is this little industrial complex over here. We do have a little admin building on the side. I'm not seeing any statics on it. But we do have those little guard towers there. So it's one of those, you know, forced to work at mills with all the guys on guns watching everybody. But otherwise, no military equipment in there. Looking at the airfield capture zone, it's literally in the open, I think, including this big aircraft building with all these little side rooms and whatnot. Nothing on the interior. We do have some spent HIMARS pods here. Actually, they don't look spent. Okay, that's an interesting choice. We got some bombs all tucked away. This place seems to have been blown into oblivion. What is really cool, though, is we do have some custom entrenchments here, including some little bunkers that appear to be for various reasons. But definitely this place got blown to smithereens here. They even have to knock over trees and everything. But this is a big, big field of play here. Op4 also spawned on another hastily made trench line here. These are pretty damn cool. And we got a lot of bunkers here with a bit of deformer use to show that these there's just a lot of places to potentially hide. And then we've got more of these trench lines around. So a little bit of exploring needs to be done for Op4 to find every position that can be usable. And then we have some overt fortifications on the end of the runway and whatnot. So not bad. Looking over at Blue 4, they just have to hold this little town over here, which already is going to suck for anyone attacking because you have these massive apartment complexes and they can fit literally an entire platoon inside. So I don't think Blue 4 is going to have any trouble defending this zone, but damn, there's a lot of places to hide in this one zone itself. So looking at the maps here, we already have some Blue 4 heading into the zone. Others are going to start moving on foot. That is a multi-kilometer walk, though. Maybe they're going to try to go for the purple zone early. Op4, meanwhile, looks like they're moving around. Hard to say what their intentions are right now, but we already have some going on the outskirts of the zone. Maybe that's an early indication that they're already going to be leaving. And it looks like Op4, we got one Spetsnaz group already moving in. Blue 4's SO group moving from the north as well. And from the south, they've got everything fully loaded. We've got 1113 with a 50 cal going south. The rest of the convoy is going to be heading up the road to immediately reinforce. Otherwise, I think there's a timer in play where Op4 is not allowed to board the choppers yet. We see that the players have been playing a fun little game of, what's that game with the squid people where they, you know, cover each other in paint? I forget which one it is. But yeah, it looks like they've been doing that to occupy the time, and the rest have been digging trenches. And let's go look at the Spetsnaz Special Forces. Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't completed. It wasn't completed. I can technically stream it if it wasn't completed. We're gonna ignore that one. We're gonna... That wasn't a hate symbol. It wasn't completed yet, okay? But yeah, the other one was Splatoon. Yeah, so you know, the normal. Okay. Anyway, Blue 4 moving 2 squads out to follow along the roads, probably going to purple zone. Op 4, meanwhile, looks like they've set up 3 squads to set up blocking positions around the Op 4 zone. The 4th one is already swinging around to move stuff around. I hope they know I'm streaming and they decided not to finish it because I was streaming, but damn. All right, Blue 4 is sending one of the Humvees out. This is the command Humvee. They're going to go off in the forest maybe to check out the yellow zone, but otherwise, right now, we're just kind of scrolling out and speculating. Blue 4, they might leave a skeleton crew just to hold the blue zone while everything else pushes to the red and purple zone. I'm going to assume Op 4 is going to send something to the blue zone, probably a helicopter to see if they can clear it out, but I mean, this apartment complex is just hell to fight. Locked vehicles are unlocked, so I'm assuming that's the helicopter, so we're going to start seeing the helicopters deploy in a minute or two as they mount up in them. All right, you see everyone loading up in those Mi-17s. Pilot's going to be the last to load to make sure everything's okay. Other pilot here is already mounting up. He's waiting for everyone else to load up, but yeah, no, these are completely loaded with troops. Engine 1. I guess the first one's engine is on. Other one we're waiting to see. I think they're trying to figure out how they're going to fit everybody. And I think they just figured it out. Technically, these are Mi-8 Super Hinds, but, I mean, that's the equivalent of an Mi-17, which I think is the export variant. But we have one away. And the other one's picking up speed. It's like Blue 4 Command has ceased to move into this spot. He's looking around. QRF of the Special Forces of both groups could potentially merge up here, so that's going to be something to keep an eye out for. But otherwise, we have the Special Forces Hind moving south. This indicates to me that they're going to probably go and strike at this Blue 4 position based off of their trajectory. Meanwhile, these two are heading north, indicating they're probably going to land and be defensive somewhere over here, or potentially go even more north and then land a group up on the yellow zone as well. I'm going to be honest, I think Op 4 could exclusively win by holding stuff back here. That is an Igla. If anything, you should be much further ahead then. This shows me that Blue 4 Command is LZ watching for any helicopters here. I'm going to be honest, I would think that they would then want to go forward instead and just try to cover a very large area, but we'll see how things go. Maybe they might catch the Hind trying to land to the south over here, and they'll be within range to strike it. Igla only has a max range of 1.5 kilometers, though, which barely covers around this area here, and that's if they had the visual range to identify, so anything's possible there. Looks like the Blue 4 SOF, though, have separated. They got 5 people heading south, and then the 2 groups in the other vehicles are going to break apart to head to the yellow zone. Meanwhile, Spetsnaz here, they have broken away. This is the NASA Special Forces group here. They're going to also head to the yellow zone. No game set for stream. I mean, does it matter? I've been streaming Arma since 2018. I really don't think it matters, but that's fine. There, boom, done. All right. Super Hinds coming in. They're a little on the high end, though. If they were going to land at the airport, I would think they're going to be a lot lower unless they're maintaining this specific altitude to blow past it and head up to the yellow zone. Why, is Twitchy in here yelling at me? I don't see him. I only see regular E in there. That's just some random SR-25? Okay, fair. I couldn't remember. All right, scrolling out, we have the Hind hugging the outside of the map. Meanwhile, Blue 4 have decided to set up a 50 cal vehicle to the south to try to watch for any LZ groups. That's kind of funny. But yeah, no, we have a hip literally rushing for the landing pads up here before the SOF guys can even get on the zone. That's funny. And then we do have the 50 cal MRAP here also looking. That's a Navstar, if I recall correctly. but it's watching the skies over on the northern side to deny any LZ, so that's not bad. Hip's gonna go right in between the two zones, though. And now we have that massive dismount. That's roughly 2 squads of forces. Looks like they're clearing away from the defensive areas, and instead they're going to try to hold the high ground between the base, I guess, to lock the valley down. Other chopper, meanwhile, is a bit lower. I'm assuming... No, based off the amount of infantry here, it just landed, I think, down here, and that chopper was breaking away. So that's landed reinforcements to go to the purple zone. And I think the special forces here are going to go for that area. But I'm curious to see if the 113 here is going to catch the Hind. Nah. Got too much of a terrain difference right there. Hind is hugging the outskirts of the map here. Flying super low to avoid Igla fire. And the low ground of this road, I think, is going to prevent them from spotting that Hind. Oh, wait. If he drives forward, he might be able to catch it. Did they see it in time? I don't think so. Not at that angle. The guy that was supposed to be watching left was twirling around instead like a goober, and he completely missed it. Now the tree cover's too thick, so that group isn't going to catch anything. It's funny, though, because now the Hind is coming in on the low ground right on the river, so their previous position was golden. That's so funny. If they waited another minute, they would have caught that Hind dead to rights and then nailed it with the 50 cal. Oh, man. If only. All right, Blue 4, meanwhile, are deploying a big chunk of their forces to the south here. Op 4 have separated out quite a bit, though. What I'm a little worried about... You can hear that Hind in the distance, by the way. If Blue 4 goes all in on this position and Op 4 is this separated, I think by, like, proxy of numbers here, Blue 4 should be able to beat out Op 4 in these positions. And again, these two positions are the biggest amount of points worth to Op 4. So I think in Op 4 trying to get every single thing that they can to get a perfect score, I'm worried they might have divided themselves up too much. But that's also going to rely purely on the PvP if Op 4 can completely outperform Blue 4. I mean, Op 4, they do have access to a GMG. I don't know where it's been placed, somewhere in this AO. But, again, they're also very separated out. They do have a Hind for air support, but will they get it is the issue. I love how ballsy this Mi-24 is. It's flying low and slow on the river to get this team up to this position. And I don't think there's an angle where Blue 4 is going to see it coming. Like, it's ingenious. And Blue 4, that's the crazy thing about this, too. Blue 4 knew that that was a possibility, but then decided, nah, we've waited here long enough. They would have landed by now. Maybe because they forgot that Op 4 doesn't start with the ability to load their helicopters. If they waited those few minutes, then they would have caught it. So I think that's where Twig King's timing went off. They deployed a big chunk of their forces here. There's 2 more. They just got out as well. Okay. So they called it. Now we'll probably see that thing back off. But that Hind is probably going to support the Spetsnaz attack here on that one blue position. Meanwhile, we've got Blue 4. I think these guys are dead men walking with the ratio of forces we see coming up to this position compared to the ratio of forces defending. One of those instances where we're probably going to have to see something crazy in order to have Blue 4 win. I'd say an Audrey Hotto incident. Fun fact, he beat his record recently in an FNF Soon event on Saturday. He got 26 confirmed kills. So he just, you know, keeps outdoing himself, apparently, but I digress. We're going to have to see some level of crazy play where one of these guys needs to just start slaughtering here. Meanwhile, Op4, we have a big group up here. I think they're trying to watch for any Blue 4 SOF to come in. It's the NASA's. So the Soviet special, Spetsnaz here. Soviet, jeez. The Spetsnaz are basically just watching and waiting and seeing. I'm wondering if they've spotted the guys out there, though. But it looks like they're checking the really, really top of the ridge area there. But, I mean, that Navstar really does blend in quite well. But I think in theory there should be an angle where the Spetsnaz here spot it. But he just doesn't have the scope or the binos in order to properly see it. They're more so just watching that road. But we might see later these guys actually spot the vehicle. But first contact, I think, is going to be right here. You got that 4-man Special Forces team moving up to this air assault group. They are outnumbered. And they're coming up in a line, which means they're going to potentially be prone to Henry hitting them with a fatal funnel early on. Looking at the rest, though, Hind has waved off. Didn't mean to right-click that there. And Blue 4 is still marching up to that final area here. So we'll see how this first contact situation wraps up. And I agree. Really great use of terrain by the Hind. I love seeing plays like that. Charlie's not guns up here. They're not expecting contact. That's called in now. Now Op4 knows they're coming. Danger close. You're immediately seeing these guys snap into action. Grenade got thrown. Really great use of a grenade. Immediately killed off one Blue 4 guy. Blue 4 have no idea that they were just pushed. One Op4 guy kind of stumbled in there. He immediately gets double tapped. We're going to see Op4 now come around the other side. As Blue 4 trying to pull in, immediately going into a kill zone. PKP guy, kill him. What are you doing? Now he's going to get behind this dude. He's like, wait, sir, there's a friendly. Yeah, that could have been avoided. Prowler, I guess, holding fire to double tap. We got another Blue 4 guy coming around to outflank. Really great Blue 4 play to immediately go on the flanks to try to, you know, catch Op4 off guard here. So the other guy got knocked, but he's throwing some defensive grenades. The guy gets double tap. Prowler gets knocked prone. So Nicholas here holding himself. Gatto here also looking around. Nicholas caught putting a fresh mag in as he is pushed by an Op4 rifleman. Shots going through. He's forced to return fire. Throws a blind smoke grenade. Thankfully it wasn't a frag. He would have killed himself with it. That one Op4 guy can't seem to line up a proper shot, though. This is Prowler again pushing with that PKP. Finally next the kill. And the fourth guy looks like he was coming around, and he just got taken out by Sambi. So overall, the Op4 group lost 3 people, including their squad leader, because of a little bit of confusion. But overall, they traded pretty well. And then this group, I thought was pushing up with them, but they held instead. So I guess they were just pushed up to kind of scout that. But yeah, there's no point now. Meanwhile, we have Skipu all the way back here. I don't know what his plan is. He's a marksman. We're at the 15-minute mark, so we have the objectives cashed in. So that is 1 point per. And the next cash-in is at the 35-minute mark in 20 minutes for those blue and red zones, respectively. Spec Ops group here consists of 6 guys, and they've got that Mi-24 on standby. Blue 4, though, do have Overwatch with the Igla, and they are looking around, and they can quickly come over here. And if that Mi-20... I mean, look at how the weather opened up, though. From this hilltop, this is a beautiful Overwatch point. God damn, this map opened up. So these guys, I mean, they've got really good views of everything. I think they see that hip, though. So they're going to potentially try to get into the vehicle and push in with it. Hip is bringing in a UAZ, which shows me that these guys are actually intending to move around. So that's an interesting call. Blue 4 have set up their mortar in their defensive zone. That's going to give Spetsnaz something to hone in on, but it looks like someone's died? How did Callie die? Did he jump off the roof? Did he get armored by the mortar? Did they... Oh, I know what happened. So you see how these are flattened? These are meant to be like picnic tables. I'm willing to bet they deployed the mortar here. The mortar ricocheted off the tables and probably ragdolled into Callie and insta-killed him. That's usually what happens because people are thinking, oh, yeah, you know, if I put my mortar in the picnic table, nothing bad will happen, right? Yeah, no, that's a silly mistake. It's funny, though. These guys are now hunting down a hip when they should be prioritizing the hind. They want to set up an overwatch position to destroy the hip if it comes back, but the hip is not the priority. The hind should be. But maybe they're thinking if one helicopter's in here, maybe it's, you know, going to focus on the, maybe that's where it'll tip them off to where the hind's operating as well. Yeah, that's why I don't like to do ops with statics, because there's too many critical success or critical failure points where the static can either break or glitch out or kill somebody. It's usually not worth the trouble in this game. I'll just give the player base the equivalent of, like, you know, a 50 cal or a grenade launcher, you know, something crazy to facilitate. Or they'll be assaulting the positions and they can capture them and use them at their own risk. So these guys have now dismounted, and they're moving up here. They're eventually, when the Spetsnaz begin calling in airstrikes on this position, they'll get the call back to head back south, but I think Twig Keen's group is going to be acting as a good bit of QRF here. They're definitely looking around. They're going to be the first guys to call in that the Igla is coming. Not the Igla, the hind is coming, so that the Igla can then be brought down south to engage it, but it's going to take at least 5 minutes for that entire chain of events to happen. The Lottie AT gun, yeah, exactly, from Winter War. That thing kept glitching the fuck out, and I'm like, I can't handle this anymore. Don't remind me. Is there a player list? Yeah, it's 135, though. I don't really like to list them all out. But we do have 2 squads of NASA. Don't ask me how that works. I don't know. Oh, God, yeah, so that Shilka is online and usable. Yeah, so this means you don't want to assault this base from the hilltops, because this will do things to you. There is enough NASA for a shuttle trip, guys. That's funny. Igla Gunner sees the hip. He's going to go for it. I hope he has more rounds, because otherwise he's going to potentially use one here on a transport. I get why, you know, OFCRA could be moving forces around. It would be a, you know, a good hit. Or a good call. I don't think the Shilka has any angle on him. He's going to be engaging it sideways. That's the best way to engage a helicopter. Missile out. He catches it as it turns away, but still gets the hit. That hit, right? The tail's still spinning, though, so it's not disabled, but it kind of looks like it just kind of chipped the paint a little bit. I don't know about that. Anyway, we have 2 OPFOR unconscious in this building. I'm wondering if they fell from the rafters there. You can never trust the shoddy engineering of the catwalk, man. Sometimes you'll just completely fall on your face. Meanwhile, Spetsnaz are starting to move into the town from the south. I just realized that Blue 4 and OPFOR can also score points from controlling the blue and red zones, you know, opposite to them. So, in theory, that could work. Sounds like the chopper ended up having its engine killed off. Maybe the pilot lost control, so he ejected. Chopper went down, but again, that is just a transport. Or it is quite possible that Oddball put a second shot in it, which I kind of hope he didn't because he has a limited amount of Igla rounds. All right, OPFOR, when you're assaulting a position like this, your best bet is to start, you know, going into one of these tall buildings and then trying to establish a base of fire from there. Because you never know who might be in these looking out, and you are super exposed if you start moving in the middle. So I think Templar is going to do that exactly, which is going to put Addy here under threat. Oh, you hear the footsteps, though, dude. You have to call that in. Yeah, he does. Yep. He's touching the radio right there saying, hey, guys, you moving around me? Because I think I hear footsteps. Can someone look? Meanwhile, main assault has begun. Looks like an Op 4 group was pushing right into a Blue 4 element here. A 113 was knocked out. Got 50 cals firing from afar. Where's that GMG? Surprised the GMG isn't peppering this smoke here with grenades, but I guess it's too close to blue. Cuboid, meanwhile, holding prone right here. He is waiting for an opportunity to pick off some blue 4. Meanwhile, you got Tackleberry watching this opening here. Grenades are getting thrown. I just heard some distant shots from back here. Yep, Addy's proning it. Templar's about to check. Templar have a shotgun? Mortar's firing. Bro put himself in a position where he couldn't see so people could walk around and hit him from the rear. Bro. All right, they're going to potentially hone in on that mortar now. Ariel now coming up to check the rear here. Gets one Spetsna. They're double tapping. He's trying to double tap him. That means he's not dead yet, dude. Kill him. More mortars now heading out. Twig is going to potentially move his vehicle into assist. And Ariel gets keyholed through that little area because he was immediately going to the roof. That's fine. Mortar just killed itself. Mortar adjusted the round, hit the side of the tall building, and just killed himself. That's why you never put it next to tall buildings, because if you're auto-ranging it... Yeah, all right. With that, Op4 now have a number majority. Because the mortar... amazing. So, yeah, that was something. I was kind of waiting for that, because I noticed, like, he put it next to the tall building. I'm like, but you're going to be firing shots over here, so in theory, you shouldn't be ranging those over there, right? Nope. He literally... You can see where the angle is. And you can see that it's literally lined up to hit there. And yeah, amazing. That's why you need a big open space. Away from trees, power lines, and tall buildings. Because you betcha I have seen plenty of people kill themselves with those. So Q-Boy here's hiding in the vehicle. I think he's trying to see if he can use the 50 cal at all, but he's turned in. Blue 4, meanwhile, looking around over here. We have another Blue 4 squad assaulting the back line here. But I think these guys are going to get wasted because we have all of Op 4 now pulling back to cover this zone. Op 4 in a really good position right now. They're holding all areas. We also have access to an Op 4 mortar here. Looks like the Shilka was destroyed, but now they have access to a mortar. So I'm assuming both groups are going to be pummeling each other. Meanwhile, looking over here, it looks like one of the Blue 4 guys woke up and managed to get the other Blue 4 guy awake. But now Pogrom comes down and puts them to bed again, except this time they can't wake back up. Twig's group is now coming back in. Maybe he'll be able to counter it. Cuboid, I think, is trying to line up to see if he can draw the 113 around. Blue 4 haven't really noticed that it's hostile. No, never mind. Oh, now Blue 4 NAS is running up to try to figure things out. He could climb up here and then shoot him in the ass. I think because they're knocking, they don't realize he's enemy or not. What is going on here? Okay, no, Blue 4 just AT'd it. All right. He's just chilling. Can't tell if the other 50 cal's shooting at it. Yeah. That's amazing. You put AT into it, and you're going to run up and check it. All right, So Blue 4 NASA, I see now. Op 4 needed to plant a bomb to kill NASA so that their clone army of NASAs will reign supreme. I see. I see how the timeline is. Meanwhile, Cuboid is still in here just kind of vibing. This is fine, right? This is fine. He's still looking around too, right? Yeah, he's just relaxing in there. Meanwhile, these guys are suppressing the shit out of red smoke. I guess this was misthrown, and these Blue 4 guys now shooting at each other. Damn, if only there was like an armband system that you could like use to see if, you know, friendlies or enemies were one color or another. Crazy, right? Anyway, how's this Blue 4 group doing up here that was told to clear this place out on their own? Oh, they're dying. Ah, yeah, gosh, who saw that coming? Anyway, Leziak is going to check. Oh, he's going to catch Parthius. He misses every shot. Finish him! Finish him! What are you waiting for? Shay turns in and tries to kill Kremit. A grenade rolls in. Funny enough, misses. And no, doesn't even kill the Blue 4 guy. What? Huh. Now they're firing GLs. They double tap. Okay, I see. So this was a Red 4 false flag operation. And now you got more Red 4 coming in. Mortar? Oh, that sounded like it was landing a lot closer. I thought it was about to hit right here and get everybody. Darn. And Leziak wakes back up. No fucking way. Bro, come on. Come on, dude. Dude, shoot him. No. I think Callie is now pointing out to Parthius that there was an enemy right there, and if no main coming up and double tap, I don't have words for this one. I genuinely do not have words for this one. I am just as confused as you. Anyway, Blue 4's first assault failed. Looks like Q-Boy got out of the vehicle and burned to death and didn't get double tapped. Blue 4 now moving the rest of their forces up, but I don't think they have the numbers to do this. Twig King has sent his forces back to try to help recoup this position. The zone will get cashed in 6 minutes. But OPFOR might just have the number advantage in the zone to do stuff. But OPFOR separate across various different apartment complexes, which it doesn't matter how good the Blue 4 or OPFOR players are. I mean, OPFOR have a really good defensive garrison in here, so they're going to need those reinforcements. Otherwise, they're kind of SOL. Blue 4, meanwhile, looks like they moved another special operative group alone up here. And it's getting cut down because they didn't learn the lesson from the other time they sent a 4-man team up here and it got wiped. So... here, hold on. Maybe Sniper Thor will channel his inner Audrey Hotto and win the match. As OPFOR combs around and blows... okay, he got him. He got him with the grenade. It's just there was someone else on the grenade. You know, it kind of made that one a little difficult. Alcimo here's going to climb up and find Valzy. Or, no, NASA 3! No! One of the NASAs is down! And double tap. So, 3 NASAs have died on OPFOR. The one on Blue 4 has also died. What did you just see? PvP and Arma 3. This is a pretty blurst round, guys. Not going to lie. I'm going to have a lot of fun editing this. Yeah, if you're still alive and you're pro, might as well reload your weapon, toss a... okay, I would have used a frag grenade. See, I think OPFOR has the right idea. That is, in fact, a frag grenade. Goodbye. It's funny, though. If he threw his frag, he probably would have gotten the kill, but that's okay. I'm sure he just reached for the wrong thing on accident. No, because you know they're not bots, because bots are programmed not to shoot each other. That's how you know these are real people, is if they friendly fire like this, then yeah, definitely. All right, meanwhile, looking at the numbers here, we have 3-6. So OPFOR are going to score this point on this area here. That is going to put them up 3-1. And if they can withstand the attack here, they'll get a 4th point from up here, and then the final 2 are right there. I think this is an early GG, in all honesty. Because looking at the number difference between Blue4 and OPFOR here, looking at the skull difference, I mean, yeah, Blue4 is barely above a page. And then OPFOR have like a full page and a half. So I don't see how Blue4 can win this one. Ah, I see. He gets shot to dodge the GL that Callie was gonna put in his face. Rigel, meanwhile, on the flank here. Why are there like 3 dead Blue4 over here? What did Rigel do? He's only credited for 1 of the kills, so what happened? And then we have the rest of the Special Forces now pushing the red zone down here. Maybe they'll be able to back cap, but we do have a group of OPFOR that are going to tongue-tied, potentially turn around and defend against that. And then you have this massive OPFOR reserve up here. So, Jesus and Damon there. Twig is alone. We've got another Blue4 guy, Grav. I don't know what he's doing back here. I guess trying to be a marksman and pick people off. Maybe he sees the movement up there, and then Lolo's also on the side. But yeah, this will be cashed in 2 minutes. But I think this is an early GG, in all honesty. Blue4 don't have the manpower. The groups that trickled in on their own and got defeated in detail, even though they caused some pretty funny, like, friendly fire moments, but that's it. Is Callie going to run up and double tap? No, he's watching his right. Rigel managed to pull back and not get red on redded, so that's good. Lolo doesn't double tap Marcos, but I don't think Marcos is waking back up at this point. GL's going off over here. Where's that 113 GMG? It's right here, but it's not being used. Man, if only they had some sort of grenade machine gun that could, like, pummel the shit out of this position or something. God, they're abandoning it instead. Okay. You know, this is a universal problem with Arma 3 players, actually. You'll give them a lot of really fun, fancy assets, and then they won't use them. They'll just use them to drive up to the AO and go, okay, I don't need this anymore, and they'll just ditch it. And it's like, but you have a GMG, bro. You could literally pummel the shit out of that position with it. All right, Twig spots an OPFOR guy and takes him out. Beautiful shot right there. Got the headshot there as he was looking out and about, so that was a dead marksman. OPFOR down to 5 people in the zone. Blue4 have 4, so that's still going to score for OPFOR in 30 seconds, give or take. Unless Blue4 can get another OPFOR kill and tie it so that no one scores the points. That's still going to be a Blue4 victory there. OPFOR have a few guys in the zone here. I think it's going to be 1-3 in the next, like, 30 seconds. The Hind is still out and about. I don't think it's done anything yet. It's been kept in reserve. No kills recorded. So they're just kind of vibing. Maybe it'll come up and do an airstrike on the rear of Blue4's lines. Maybe on the airfield. There we go. Completed by East, completed by East. So it is 1-3 now. Blue4 to OPFOR. There is only 3 more points left to score. 1 is up in the yellow zone. Blue4 is not going to get that. And then 2 are going to be in the purple zone. That's going to take it to 1-4. And then it might be... God... 1-6 by the end of this. So even points-wise, there's no way Blue4 can win. It's only going to be a tie game. But that means Blue4, because now the red and blue zones don't matter anymore. It's all about the purple and the yellow zone. So I think now it's just a matter of, you know, can Blue4 fight the tie? And the answer is no, because the yellow zone is surrounded by a literal platoon. And Blue4 do not have the manpower. So it's GG by points. Yeah. Denny activated his lag switch to stop the OFCRA guy from killing him in time. That's an interesting call. But the rest of Blue 4 is just getting dropped here. The one time the Hind gets used, it's the red on red at OFCRA position. Yeah, okay. Alright. I'll take it. Alright, I mean, credit where credit's due, though. Blue 4 is systematically taken out. Like, now we're down to 4 OFCRA players, but I think that's because Twig was able to get another kill here, but we also see that there are some more Blue 4 guys missing in this zone, so I don't know what, 4 surviving Blue 4 players are going to be able to do in a zone that's literally filled with a sea of OFCRA. Granted, it looks like OFCRA's numbers have also lowered a bit, but I think that's because they're just naturally trading with Blue 4 here, because Blue 4 are not really down to anything significant anymore. We see that more OFCRA are trying to come into this position. They're wildly throwing grenades around. But yeah, Blue 4, I mean, we're down to like a handful of dudes and they're retreating. They're either holding position because they don't have any support left or they're just outright retreating. So I'm wondering if these guys are going to try to go on the rear and then vault into this building, because it only seems to have one entrance. And that's what this machine gunner here is trying to hold here with, I think, yeah, Asa. As he literally watches the guy pulling security for him die, because he got keyholed from the rooftop of a building. That's nice. Now he's trying to shut the doors, but he got double tapped. And there's literally only 2 people left here. Jesus. More shots going into the doorway, probably trying to stop them from closing the door. Machine gun shots going out. You still have Kaiser Uncon over here. Guys, grenade bait. Okay, it has to go in the building, guys. But yeah, no, if you loop around to the other side, what are you doing? Why? You have a friendly coming around right here. Is he trying to shoot these windows? Oh, but they're solid. They're closed. So yeah, the best thing to do would be to run to this side so you get an angle then to throw grenades in. But I think he managed to get a grenade inside, yeah, and get the knockouts and kills here. Double tap from a PM there. That's Zixme coming up. Felix wakes back up, but the pillar is blocking the shots there. Grenade rolls in the back, and that knocks his feet out. Zixme throwing in another grenade, perfectly on position, and that gets the double tap. All right. So all we really have left is a Special Forces Blue 4 group up here. That's slowly, at least one group's using their freaking vehicle support. We have another group that has retreated into this vehicle. It's 3 people, and they're going up to the yellow zone. They're not really going to get much help there. And then it looks like Twig Keen's group has been reduced to the 2 people that never went into the zone, because the rest got spotted and picked off. So it's GG. Blue 4 literally down to less than a dozen men. 50 cal gunner just got sniped off of that vehicle. So that's what, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, yeah, 11. And I think the flaw was Blue 4 kind of defeated themselves on detail. Some groups went way ahead of the main force. Some split it off and went into here when they should have just done a nice concave attack and utilized the GMG and the mortar to pummel this position, but they didn't. And why are you airstriking this position again? I think OPFOR has some faulty intel here. I think because of the amount of red on red they have right here, they think there's more blue 4 coming around the side or something. But yeah, no, the Hind was... It could have been really useful, but it was held in reserve and didn't do anything. So now it's just red on redding for the sake of doing something. But this is GG. OPFOR literally have a, like, you know, platoon of forces up here that outnumber even if blue 4 were to rally everything and push in. I don't think blue 4, even if they formed the 3 isolated groups together, would have enough to take even one position here. It's GG, well played. And then I'm hearing mortar fire. I don't know exactly where it's landed. It's somewhere in the valley here, but I think these guys just messing around with the MK6 mortar either here, or it's the mortar from over here that OPFOR might have just found and is messing around with for fun. But nope, that one's still lined up on... I still can't believe he killed himself. Alright, Templar spots Lolo over here trying to run off. He's got a Mark 11, but yeah, and then Grab hasn't left this one position. He's just chilling here. Not even scoped in. And here comes the Hind. Is it about to do another OPFOR airstrike? Let's go. I'm also surprised he hasn't killed any friendlies yet with the amount of ordnance he's been putting around this position, but this just goes to show how large the area can be. I think Blue 4's trying to rally everyone to go up to this zone, not realizing that, you know, OPFOR still have a massive garrison there, so... Funny enough, that position is also being held by the defensive line of NASA. So, you know. Overall, I think this was a pretty fair op. It's just Blue 4 kind of fumbled utilizing their assets, keeping all their units attacking at the same time. But everywhere we saw Blue 4 either attacking or being attacked where it was mission critical, they were understaffed. Because, again, it was a 4-man team up here that died, another 4-man team up there that died. They left a group of 7 over here, a group of 8. They all died to a superior force. Another group trickled in. They got killed because at that point they were out of position. And then we just saw singular groups come up and assault various vectors on these 2 positions at the same time when they should have just focused on one or the other. And then this group also came in on their own and got killed. So, yeah. Next point should be cashed in, I think, in 5.5 minutes. And at that point, I think I'm just going to wrap it up. Because at point-wise, it'll be 5-1 with no chance of Blue 4 scoring any more points other than the 2 right there. But that still wouldn't win the match. Because now we're just going to see a bunch of Blue 4 guys on foot running around over here. And there's no point to that. We'll be back later for POG, which will be in 3.5 hours from now. And then I'm probably going to do some Mass Effect dev streaming tonight. But yeah, what do you guys think? Anything else that was mission critical to this scenario? Honestly, I don't think so. I really like this AO. I love the custom destruction on this map. I thought it was a really good setup. I think the AO in terms of assets was actually fairly well balanced. This was just one of those times where one side didn't utilize their assets effectively, and it shows. And I don't blame the commander on Blue 4 for that. I think it was just a miscoordination of squads on the assault. Now I just have random little pickoffs here. These guys are rallying up, but again, they're going to face the wall of NASA here, and then they still have another, you know, group double the size of the NASA's up here to contend with. I think T is the guy because he has the -1 on the vehicle slot. I think he AT'd the Shilka just to deny it from the enemy. Strategically transferring equipment to enemy hands. That's what they're doing. Looks like they found one of OFCRA's gases to move up with. And it's, I think, Killer J alone up here, so... Oh no, the Nasus has spotted him. And they missed. Well, NASA 2 was never good with AT, so, you know, no surprise there. He gets waved off. I think he's trying to do a drive around that hill to instead come directly into the zone here. Honestly, I would probably pull the same thing if I was in Oddball and Killer J shoes. I'm sorry, that was... Okay. And I think Oddball, because that's the Blue 4 commander over there, I think he realized he's lost at this point. Alright. Maybe he's trying to drive around tactically to drain all their AT. It's coming in again. Still has the bulletproof glass to work with. I'm hearing the chin strap gun firing, so I don't know if they're firing down at the Blue 4 elements here or if they're still firing at their own guys, but hold on. You're unconscious. Do you have a -1? Did you do it? Let's see if he actually hunts down that vehicle. I'd love to see a Hind and OFCRA actually get a kill. It's super rare, though. Oh, hold on. Now they're Benny Hilling this over here. Jay is unconscious in the vehicle. I guess that thing isn't as bulletproof as I would have liked to believe. And we should hit time in 30 seconds. We have a little bit of Blue 4 here, plinking out the NASA group there, but... Looks like Blue 4 backed off. Op 4 have found the mortar. But now they've lined the barrel up so it doesn't hit the building. That's a great call by Giovanni there. Hind is still moving around, looking for the building. We got these guys potentially coming back to go look at the ridge, but, I mean, that's it. Oddball, meanwhile, driving up. Got Killer J back up. These guys dismount. And that is the AA battery secured by East. That's another point. Score right now is 5-1. There is no way for Blue 4 to win now because the final objective is only worth 2 points. And even if Blue 4 were to somehow win it, that would make the score 3-5. And it would be an Op 4 victory nonetheless. As we watch Op 4 walk into the wall of NASA, he manages to get a kill, but does the grenade roll? No, but Blue 4 decides to instead walk up to it, but it still wasn't enough. He throws a grenade back. Oddball is killed by the wall of NASA. Killer J here is trying to get a bit of return. We have, I think the aircraft just hosed down the 113 there. And then we still have Cuboid back here. He's been unconscious the entire game after trying to steal a 113. And it looks like a grenade just finally knocked out Killer J there. All right, let's see from the Hind POV. Is he going to fire again at this 113? Come on. Come on, you can do it. Or were you firing at something random? Wait, no, he might have spotted. I'll give him one more pass. Come on, buddy. Give me something good. Here's his issue. He's on Stratus. No wonder he doesn't know what he's doing. He's on the wrong map. Damn, that's crazy. Alright, I either want the 50 cal to hose him or for him to turn and hose the 50 cal. Come on. Are you trying to medic him, NASA4? I couldn't tell. The 113 is running away. And I mean, there is no point now to go up on this objective. It's to go to the purple zone. But there's not really any point. Alright, that Hind, I gave it one more pass, and it's now banking off. But yeah, GG. We'll be back in 3 hours, 30 minutes. I'm going to go kill some wasps. Thank you so much for watching. Go operate operationally. Enjoy the rest of your day or night. Cheers, and have a good one.